Hi, I'm Hillard Rest, and in this video I want to talk about variable annuities. Up until 1950, when somebody put money into an annuity, it was a fixed annuity, and that's the only kind that was available. But beginning in 1950, the insurance industry developed a different kind of annuity called a variable annuity. And the reason it developed that kind of annuity is because it noticed that people were living longer. When you get a payment from a fixed annuity, is most often a fixed payment, one that does not go up or does not go down. It's one thing if you're only going to live another 5 or 6 or 7 or 8 years, but it's another thing if you're going to live another 15 or 20 years, because eventually inflation is going to chip away at that payment and it's going to purchase a lot less over the years. So to solve that problem, the insurance industry came up with a variable annuity. And the idea was that this portfolio, which was managed by the insurance companies, would over time increase in value. And therefore, your payment would over time increase in value. Now, in order to offer that variable annuity, it had to charge fees for it. And that's where fees come from in variable annuities. In the early 1980s, and I was in the business at this time, the form of a variable annuity changed, and it became one that had mutual funds in it. Now, mutual funds inside of a variable annuity are called sub-accounts, and they each have fees for being managed just like every mutual fund. So now the insurance company charged for offering the variable annuity. That's called mortality and expenses. And each one of those funds had a fee. And that's where the criticism comes from, that variable annuities charge too much in fees. Unfortunately, when you see an article or you hear something that says, do not buy an annuity because the fees are too high, that is only referring to a variable annuity, because remember, fixed annuities do not have any fees. Now, a fee is always paid, whether you have a gain or a loss. So if you had a gain of, say, 6% in the variable annuity and the fees were 3%, you're going to net 3%. If you have a loss of 6%, you're still going to pay that fee, and now your loss is going to be 9%. And that is the biggest knock with variable annuities. Now, why would anybody go into a variable annuity when the fees are high and when you can take the risk of loss as well as get the advantages of a gain? Well, variable annuities can only be sold by brokerage firms. Most people who have a broker have a stock account, right? And they pay management fees. So they're used to the idea and they have a relationship. Why would anybody consider going into a variable annuity? And there are a couple of good reasons. Let me go back with just a little bit of history. In 1978, the Dow Jones Industrial Average was around 800. What is it today? It's around 18,000. So if you had taken out an annuity and you were young enough and you'd kept it all these years, you'd have an enormous gain in that variable annuity. And that's what it was designed for. Also, if you wanted to get out of one fund that you made money in and go into another fund that you thought had more growth, or you think the market is high right now and you want to turn it all into cash, you can do any of those kind of things in a variable annuity and incur no tax liability, because everything is within the variable annuity. And that's the reasons I believe that people buy variable annuities.